Hello there guys, I'm back again with another video, and in this video I'm gonna be showing you how to set up your own Wi-Fi lab or how to simulate Wi-Fi traffic or Wi-Fi. Just create a minimal Wi-Fi network for your own learning, right? You can tweak around with it because you can do this in Python. You can add the number of devices connected, the number of access point stations, yeah. So this is great if you are actually following along with maybe other tutorials like capturing Wi-Fi handshake and cracking it, because here you can actually set your own passwords. Try capture the handshake and see if you can actually crack it while you're learning. Add more stations and even make the stations mobile, in the sense that you might even be creating a script that automatically detects new devices that are near you using Wi-Fi. So let's get into it. So the first thing we're gonna do, or what you're gonna use here, is mininet. So mininet, as it says in its documentation, it says mininet Wi-Fi. It's a fork of mininet SDN network emulator. So you can go ahead and look for the network emulator, the SDN network emulator, and understand what it is. But the name just tells you what it does out of the box, right? So it actually emulates networks. You can create complex networks and play around with protocols and all that, and even visualize this. There's a mininet visualizer online that you can dump the configurations and visualize this. So for us, we're gonna use mininet Wi-Fi to create a lab and even create a simple Wi-Fi network, which we can actually now proceed maybe in the next video to capture traffic and uh, capture the handshake and maybe crack it. So smooth, let's get into it now. So what does it require? The requirements. Although we recommend you to use the latest LTS version of Ubuntu, mininet Wi-Fi should work fine in any Ubuntu distribution. So yeah, it actually just wants Ubuntu and other distributions like this. When we try to install it in Kali, you'll see what it will tell us, and we'll proceed again to maybe uh, debug it and try to force install it on Linux, Kali Linux. So yeah, you can go ahead and read through all this. Great for reading, but the most important part are these. So stations. So it says are devices that connect to an access point through authentication and association, right? So in the implementation, each station has one wireless card, where X shall be replaced by a number by the number of each station. So since the traditional mainnet hosts are connected to an access point, stations are able to communicate with those hosts. Smooth. So access points. These are devices that manage association stations, virtualized through hostpad daemon, and use virtual wireless interface for access. Okay, so we have an AP and we have stations. There are users, and this is like you can take it as a router, right? So wireless medium emulation, traffic control, OTC. You can go ahead and read more about this. Yeah, so this is how you create your network. Okay, so you initialize your network this way, and then maybe proceed to add stations and access points. We're gonna see that. So first, let's get started. Okay, so get started with mininet VM. They have a VM which is 4 gigabytes, and I'd recommend this because you don't need to go ahead and try and install it. Or for those on any distribution of Ubuntu, you will be able to install this easily. But for those who are on Kali, you'll have to follow along with me and see how best we can actually make this work. So yeah, I highly recommend you to download the VM and use that instead. But if not, then if you have already installed Kali or any Linux distribution, you just follow along with this. So native installation from source, it tells us to install natively from source. First you need to get the source, definitely. So let's get it. Okay, there, and then let's put that there. So I'm in my Kali VM. I'm cloning the repo. Let's see if this will work. Okay, but this is weird. It's not doing anything, and that's worrying. So let me just exit this. I don't need that. Oh, it's actually, nope. Exit that. So this failed. This failed. So let's proceed again now. Let's change this because this is wrong. HTTP. I think that's it. That should work. Yeah. Awesome. So we clone the repository. You can go ahead to the repository and look at it. Maybe go into the source code, play around with it because it's open source, so you can actually do anything you want. Maybe if you want to be a dev and maybe contribute to it, because it's an awesome tool that makes it easy for us to learn wireless security. So let's go back here. We are through. Let's move into that directory real quick. Let's so it says there's a make file. So when I see a make file, I just know I'll try make install. But the moment I saw a setup py, I know when I do make install, it's just gonna run setup with py. But according to them, we are supposed to do this, right? So let's do what they want us to do. So we are supposed to do this buttons, I mean this here, instead of using make or the setup.py that's in there. So let's just follow the instructions and do that. Okay, so what this does, it's just going to execute the install.sh file which is inside the util directory. If we do ls in util, you'll see we have the install.sh, which is gonna do these options tag w, l, and fv, which mininet documentation explains what those are. What I know, this is for installing the mininet dependencies. Let me just check that real quick. So yeah, it installs the wireless dependencies. This is a wmedumd. This is the mininet Wi-Fi dependencies now, and then this is OpenFlow, and then this is OpenVS switch, right? And optional WPAN tools. I think we're gonna let's just give it what is recommended first, and then we can do the rest later. Okay, so let's execute that. It says detected Linux distribution Kali 2022, right? And it says install SSH currently only supports Ubuntu, Debian, and Fedora. This is the error you'd encounter when you try to install this. So it's easy to navigate this. We just have to make it to force it to install, because there's a check happening which checks the distribution, and then if it's not one of the distribution that's hard coded in the code, it's gonna stop execution. So let's open the file up and look for that. What was the error? You can just look for it. Okay, let's look for the error. It says currently only supports Ubuntu. So let me just take this and then open that up, paste that there, and then enter. Now here we are. So what does it do? it does uname r, and then kernel headers, and then it does if not echo dist, which dist is this. Yeah, so if dist equals to pop, then dist is ubuntu, and this is where dist is got an lsb release tag is. So we can actually manipulate that. So it checks, it does an egrep and checks if it's not either of these, then it actually stops execution. So we can actually add curly in here. So we just do curly and then that way. So if you can't see what I'm doing, this is what we just added. So just added curly here, where now it is curly Ubuntu Debian and the rest. Now if we save that and actually execute this again, let me just reduce that. Smooth. Okay, so it says package pyflix has no installation candidate, and also pip8 has no installation candidate. So for pip8 you can just do pip3 install and then pip8, right? And then these will install pip8. I already have it installed, so you see it says it's already satisfied. For pyflix now, this we have to go to the code, because if we try pip install it fails, if we try update it fails. So this is pyflix. Okay, these are already been installed, but it shouldn't have been. So the reason why, this is how it you are supposed to look at it. If you get that error, you come and vim, come on, there it is. So you look for pyflix. So this is what is happening. It's coming here, installing mininet dependencies, right? And then it's checking for Fedora or Red Hat or CentOS, and then it installs this, right? Else it checks for SUS Linux and then it installs that. Else it comes down here and sets pf to pyflix and then sets the Python version. Then it does this, yeah. Python is Python 3, and then it proceeds to do starting around 2.2.04, installing pyflix. So you see what's happening here. If the distribution is Ubuntu and the release is greater than 20.04, greater than or 20.04, then it will install pyflix 3. So that's what you're supposed to install. So you go ahead and do this, and just do pip install pyflix or sudo apt install pyflix 3, and then that will install pyflix 3. Okay, after doing that we still have something else to do. Remember we used pip to install pip8, so we need to remove it here, because if you run this will still error out, because it will try to do apt install pip8, which is wrong. So we have to remove pip8, and we also have to remove pf, or if we don't want to remove pf, we just need to change this here to be curly. Okay, and then for pip8 let's just remove it, and then let's execute that again. Nah, that's not execution. So there it is. So we go, and it actually works. Now it's actually cloning into this. This takes a while, so I'll have to pause a bit and return when this is completed. It takes a while to clone into this and actually just get the host tab and make it, because it's just gonna do sudo make install again. So I'm gonna pause for a while. Okay, so after a while it downloads and it installs, yeah, it installs OpenSwitch PKI and OpenSwitch controllers. So let's see if these work. Let's follow the documentation again and see what it says. right? So after that, yeah, now let's go after installing. Let's go to getting started and see what this tells us. And now getting started, mininet Wi-Fi usage. So it says start a minimal topology and enter the CLI. So let's try this out. Okay, let's go ahead and try that out. Okay, so when we try this out, and let's see, configuring node, adding controller, adding links, and we are in the network CLI. So we have station 1 and access point 1, station 2 and access point 2. So if we try something like station 1 ping, let's say 3, station 2, and see, it actually pings. So station 1 is a device or a user, and then station 2 is another user. You can take it that way for now, right? And then we have the access point. Okay, so that's like a simple Wi-Fi network. If we could, you can draw it. It's just like we have an access point, and then we have two devices connected to that access point. So, and they both can speak to each other. And now we can also do the same in Python. Just write this similar. We can write this similar topology in Python, or you can use this one. So we can just do exterm. We're not writing in Python yet, so this one I open up a terminal as that user. So let's say this will emulate station 1, which would say it's this user. If I do exterm again and then go station 2, this is now this user. So let's say IPA, and then you see I'm running as the context of that user. You see my interface is station 2 LAN 0, which has an IP, right? Here it is. So this is how you've set up a very simple lab that actually emulates two users connected to one access point. Yeah, and of which you can now set up the third one who's not connected to this, but is trying to get connected, right? So the third person will be our malicious or our attacker, is the one who will be trying now to capture handshake between these two and the access point by now sending the authentication packet to both or one of them, and when the other connects back, he'll get the handshake and we can proceed to crack that offline. So let's just let's write that Python script right now. You can find that Python script in the examples, but I find it better if you actually code it on your own and then proceed to like tweak it the way you want, rather than just firing up a script that you don't really know how or what it's doing. So first, let's just exit these. We don't want to use them anymore. Yeah, so quit. Okay, and then let's clear that. Sudo mn tag c to clear everything. Okay, so let's create our script. We'll call it let's call it network. Right, so in our script we want to import a bunch of modules. So we'd start with from mininet, yeah, play, and then we're gonna import like the CLI, and this should be mininet Wi-Fi, not really mininet. Mininet is now the other one for networking without, like, it's not the Wi-Fi, uh, it's not really related to Wi-Fi. So for that we have to do mn underscore Wi-Fi, dot so we are importing CLI or the command line interface uh from mininet. Okay, so we go import CLI, from CLI import CLI. Okay, that's the first one. The second import we need now is we need the class that's gonna instantiate our all network. So that we're gonna do from mn mininet-wifi .net import mininet underscore Wi-Fi. Okay, so to create a network now, we'll create a class, not a class, but a function called topology. Yeah, so our function will be def topology. Sorry, and then the first thing is instantiate our network, which is gonna be mininet underscore Wi-Fi, and then that. And then now we proceed to now start creating our stations or our access point in our stations, right? So the way we're gonna do that is, let's say the convention, we say station 1, and then we say net dot add station. Okay, and then we have to give it a couple of options. We have to give it the name, and we can specify the password, or just give it the encryption, or just the name alone will be okay. So we're gonna do that. So let's say add station, and then I'm gonna give it a station 1, right? That's our station 1. And then station 2, we're gonna do the same, but now it's gonna be a little bit different, because now we want station 1 to be our attacker. So let's do this. Let's write what we want, right? Let's create our topology here. We want 3 stations. Station 1, I think nano would be more clear. I can configure Vim to be that way, but I like it that way. So we say let me just put this bound line. Then we want station 1, and then we want station 2 and station 3 and 1 access point, right? So these two will be connected to the access point. This guy here won't be connected to any access point. So this will be our attacker, that is you, and then this will be victim 1, then this will be victim 2. These are the people connected to the access point, and then this is our AP access point, or let's call it router, right? So this is our topology, right? This is how we want this to work. So the attacker shouldn't be connected to the access point, but station 1 and station 3 should be connected. So we come here, and then we say net.add station, and then here we have station 2, and we have to specify the password because we want it to use WPA2 for the encryption. So the password I'm gonna give it here, let's give it winter, and then let's specify the encryption. Encrypt, we'd go with WPA2. So similar to that, we're gonna do the same with should I just duplicate it? We're gonna do the same. Okay, We gotta do the same with station 3. We gotta do the same with station 3, which station 3 is gonna be station 3, station 3, because they are authenticating to the same access point, that's the same router, they'll be using the same password, right? And also because the router is using that kind of encryption, then that's great. So we've set up all our stations. So now what's remaining is the access point, right? So let's say access point equals to net dot add. Now we are not adding a station, now we are adding an access point. Yeah, so we'll call it access point 1, and then we'll give it as an SSID, and then we'll say this is let's call it not malicious, but let's call it the network. Nah, what's the best name we can use for this? Let's just call it my Wi-Fi. So the SSID is just like the name of that Wi-Fi. When you actually turn on your Wi-Fi, you'd see a bunch of entries, right? And you see like they are in words. Now those are SSIDs, which are actually mapped to the BSSID, now which is like the MAC address of an access point. So mod G, and then we're gonna specify the channel also. So let's say we want it on channel 1, and we want the password to be winter, because we specified that. Yeah, we want the password to be winter, and we also want to like specify the encryption plus the fail mode and the data path. So encryption, encrypt, we'd say WPA2, and I forgot to do this, so that, let's just go down there, and then we need to say fail mode, we tell it just standalone. We're gonna learn all these as we go along. We're gonna learn what the configurations mean, what happens if we change them, and how can we make use of them, right? And then the data path should be user. Okay, so now we are done with creating the stations and the access point. Now what's remaining is now to actually connect what's required to be connected, and leave those which are not required to be connected. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to configure the nodes that we've created. So we say configure nodes. Okay, that's it. Now after that configuration is done, now we need to start adding each access point, or maybe creating a link between them. Because we want them to connect, we have to specify that. So we'd say net.add link, and then we give it the first name, which is gonna be the station, and then the next one is the access point. So station 1 connecting to access point 1, right, which is that access point, and then net.add link station 2, which is also connecting to the same access point. And now we need to build this. So net.build, and then start the access point. ap start, give it like a list here. Okay, so that's it. Now we can actually just run it this way, and that's great, but we need to specify a stop for it. But that's the next. Let's say we need to do something like, and before, let me just bring, let's put it here, net dot stop. Yeah, so this will be called when we just execute it, it's gonna run and then it's gonna stop. But we don't want it to stop, so we need to tell our script that create the topology, create the networks, and then drop into a command line interface. So that's why we imported the module CLI, and then we want to drop into that command line interface. Come on. Okay, so after that, now we need to specify the main function, or not the main function, but we need to specify what it should execute when it's run. Or so what we're gonna do is if underscore underscore name. Now this is what it's gonna do is when we run this file using Python, it's gonna execute whatever is inside here when we run it. But when we import it, now whatever is in this if statement won't get executed. So it's a very unique and cool feature in Python that helps you create modules that can actually be standalone applications or scripts. So we just need to start the topology. Okay? We just need to start the topology, and that's it. And that's what will happen. So the only bad thing about our script is it doesn't have any, like, it doesn't tell us if something went wrong, or it doesn't tell us which part we are at, but that's still great. So come on, this is not Vim. And then okay, so we just need to run that. This says mn-wifi li. Oh, okay, it's clear. I wrote a lie. That's interesting. So keep your control pro, and then sudo, and it say mininet-wifi object has no attribute, configure nodes. So I think I'm doing something wrong here. Oh, okay, I made it camel case, and it's not supposed to be. This is not camel case. Camel case is the other way around. It's supposed to be this way. Okay. And awesome, and we get uh thrown in there. So when we do dump, you see station 1, this is station 1, right? This is its IP, and there is PID. Then station 2 also IP and PID. If we do station 1 ping, let's give it 2 packets, and then station 2, so destination host unreachable. So that's because you remember station 1 was our attacker, they are not connected. But if I do station 2 ping, let's give it 2 packets, and then station 3, and this also says destination host unreachable, and that's weird. So let's check this, what's happening here. So there's something we've not done correctly, or have not done correctly. So let's check that. Okay, so quit, and then let's go back to our network, and let's see ap1 p.start p.build. Okay, but that's only variable, so it doesn't affect it much. Net stop add link. So we added station 1 ap1, that's great. Built our network, and then we told it to start, which should be great, but it's still erroring out. station 1, add station. Okay, let's see the documentation. Maybe I missed something somewhere. So where is it? Mininet-wifi commands, just in case. Link AP1 is T1 down. Link. So I'm trying to find out here where exactly it's failing. So link is TST down, net at station, H0. So it's supposed to work. Okay, I think we're okay. Okay, maybe it's just something I'm missing. I don't know, but I think we're okay. So we have a tier 1, our attack, right? Here it is. And then we have a tier 2, which is user 1. Let me just put comments there so that I get to see where I'm wrong. Okay, I'm just gonna use Vim for this. Vim network.py. So I'm gonna expand a bit so that you can see clearly. So it's tier 1. Let me just put in the comments. Let's say this is the attack station, and then this is the those are the victim stations, right? Stations. So, and this is the access point. Access point, right? And then let's see, we have net configure nodes. That's great. So let's say configuring nodes, right? And then connecting stations. Oh, found it. Yeah, just the act of going back to my code and looking at what was wrong, I've seen what was wrong. So I was actually trying to connect station 1 to the access point without a password. So you remember, you need to supply a password to actually be able to connect to this router or this access point. It's just like using a password to connect to your home Wi-Fi, yeah. And remember, station 1 is the attacker, so it's supposed to be station 2 and station 3, and that's why station 3 could ping station 2 could ping station 3. The reason being, I did not connect it to the access point. So right now that I've connected, it should be okay. So let's try that out again. Then when station 2 pings station 3, let's see, it's still host unreachable. Dump station 2 and 0 station 1. So this is .1, .2, .3. Okay. More debugging to be done. So let's see what we're doing wrong. So we have station 1, station 2. Both of them are okay. And station also, the encryption there is also WPA2. Yeah. Now that should be okay. There's something I'm missing. Yeah. So I'm configuring nodes. That's great. Okay. I see. So you see, configure nodes the way it is a mininet the way you configure nodes for mininet, the normal mininet, right? But now we're using mini Wi-Fi, or for Wi-Fi configurations, we need to configure mininet Wi-Fi, not really just nodes. So I think we should add Wi-Fi there, and then let's see if that does what it should do, and then let's ping that. mm, still destination unreachable. Aha, still more debugging to be done. So we've already configured, we've added links, right? But still we can't get anything there. Let's check again. Let's go back to the code. So station 1 added. Yeah, we go station 3, station 2, and there's something we are missing, or I'm missing here. At the stop topology. So the access point is on standalone mode. It's Nene. Its data path is user. So that's okay. I think everything is okay here. There's just something. I don't know if I'm missing something here. I can't really tell what I did wrong. Maybe let me just search for that real quick. Let me just give that real quick here, and then let's go to that's commands, net add station, mininet ep1, set antenna station interface. That is the setting power, setting channel. Let's see, maybe I did something bad with the channel. uh Showing and hiding nodes, sts show. That is definitely something. Oh, okay. Maybe let's restart the services. Let's restart the services and see if that's what's happening here. So sudo mn tag c to clean everything. Let's clean up that and then remove this, and then network and station 2 ping station. Nothing. What about ap1 actually pings, and station 3 ping tag c to 1. Okay, so this is saying I can ping an access point, but I cannot ping station 3. So reason being what? Okay, let's take it that way. I think maybe it's because of the configuration we can't ping each other, but we can actually be able to ping the access point. And if I try station 3 and then I say ping that's c1, the access point, it works though. It's actually pinging it. Yeah, because that's an access point. That should work. I wonder why it's refusing to like ping. This is station 3. Oh god, it shouldn't work. Yeah, it's still the same thing. Okay, so let's quit this and let's check through this. It should connect. These should connect. Your Wi-Fi. Standalone fail mode. Let me remove the fail mode and see. Okay, let's remove all that. And then let's run that. Wait for that. Station 3, ping station 2. and it worked. Oof. Okay, so I am still in the dark why that worked, so I'll just have to go and dig deeper into this and see. So we have already set up our Wi-Fi environment. So the next thing we're gonna do is now capture, put one of the, because we can do something like XTerm, and then open up station 1, station 2, and station 3. Yeah, so we have station 3, we have station 1, and we have station 2. So these are like users, right? Station 3 and station 2 are like the users, yeah, and then station 1 is like the attacker here. So you can go ahead and start communication between these two, right? Let's say like I can do ping, I can take the IP of this, or like just ping here, yeah. Okay, the next time we're gonna open up station 1, I think 2 of them, and we're gonna run airmon ng and also airplay. We're gonna make sure we're gonna visualize this in while using, let's say, ICMP to just send packets to this other part and see if the deauthentication occurs. Do they lose connection? Yeah, they will lose connection, and we'll see how that works. And then we're gonna see, after capturing that handshake, we're gonna crack it, and we're gonna proceed to we're gonna get the password, and maybe we try and initiate connection to it. So thank you guys for being here for this long, and I really appreciate you staying this long. And also this video was meant to be an apology for the session we had today on Wi-Fi, which I had a lot of issues with my internet, but I hope this helps anyone who wants to build their own Wi-Fi lab for just research purposes and maybe learning purposes. So thank you so much, and ciao.